Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a good day today. Um, since I moved here to the Philippines, my diet has drastically changed. Um, everything that I eat now is fresh. There's no preservatives, no chemicals, no pesticides. Um, and also, since I've been here, we don't have a radio, we don't have a television, and there's really no televisions or radios close by. Sometimes the shop next door plays a radio. Um, but we're not bombarded, we don't have fluoride in the water, and we don't have all these medicines forced down our throats, antidepressants and things, and all those medicines have fluoride in it, which is, to me, I think it's just a way that this dark world has they've contaminated God's temple to where it's almost made us deaf and blind to spiritual things and to God's voice. Our bodies are the temple of God. I believe our bodies are an antenna for God to reach. And if you watched my last video, the eye, there is a physical part of our body that connects us to the Father, which is outside this world, time and space. And since I've been here, it seems like the longer I'm here, the cleaner my temple has become, and I can feel God more, and I can hear God more. I'm more in tune to what He's saying to me now than ever before, and it's amazing. And it made me think of what Paul had wrote in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1, where he writes, "Since we have these promises, dear friends, let us purify ourselves from everything that contaminates body and spirit, perfecting holiness out of reverence for God." And Paul had a reason for writing that, and there's lots of ways to contaminate the body, nicotine, caffeine, alcohol, all these things, cloud us, and they distract us, and what the television is selling and the radio is selling and all that stuff is just a way to keep us spiritually deaf and blind, And since I've been here, it's amazing. When I first got here, I lost about 20 pounds. I've gained it all back now, but it's a good gain. It's not all the trash that I had in my system. So, and I thought I was living pretty healthy before I came here. Today I want to talk to you about a few things that God has given me confirmation on some things that I've been talking about for a long, long time, but He's just confirmed them to me lately. And that's part of our walk with God in spirit is, whenever God gives you something, He'll tell you, He'll speak something in your heart to do something, and whenever you follow through with it, God rewards you for it, or He'll show you there was a reason that He had you do that, and whenever you get the confirmation from it, it builds your faith. That's what we do, is every day, God gives you something else to build your faith on, and it just makes your faith stronger and stronger and stronger every day. It's like God's feeding you food every day, that manna from heaven. It's amazing, But there's something that I did an upload some time ago called Predestined to Hit the Mark. And whenever I did that upload, man, it triggered a few religious spirits. They got mad. They was throwing all kinds of Bible verses at me. And but in that video, I talked about the God spell. It's like the God spell and the gospel are kind of the same. It's when God comes to you and gives you pieces, which is divine faith, or God revealing Himself to you. I have a friend whose YouTube channel is Revelation is Salvation, and that's so true, But whenever God comes to you and He gives you divine faith, which is God's divine revelation, it's like you've been put under a spell by God. Well, there's a root word that pistis, divine faith, comes from, and that word is P-E-I-T-H-O, and it's Strong's number 3982, and it's confident. And it means I persuade, God persuades, urges, the result of God's persuasion to cause true belief in a thing, to tranquilize. You know, I think of myself as the night that God came to me as I was a brute beast, you know, and God tranquilized me. He subdued the beast that was in me, you know. He put me under his spell, and he changed me. Whenever I read that, God led me to look into the deeper meaning of faith, and he showed me that, and it's like, that's something I already knew, but God just confirmed it for me. It's amazing how he does that, you know. I've also been talking lately about, you know, how Matthew 24 and Revelations and all that is things that have already come to pass. Now, a lot of people get all upset whenever I talk about that, and you know, I believe we're in a time that you know, we're in cycles and patterns repeating themselves, and I believe we're fixing to have something amazing happen. The Spirit of God is going to come and do amazing things, but we got to go through some bad things too, unfortunately. But I was reading in Matthew 24, verses 12 through 14, and I keyed in on the word world here, but I want to read this to you. Jesus says, because of the increase of wickedness and the love of most will grow cold, but he who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. He says, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. And I looked up that word world that was used in this verse, and that is O-I-K-O-U-M-E-N-E, Strong's 3625, and it means the inhabited Roman world, the inhabited Roman Empire. The inhabited world that is the Roman world, for outside it was regarded as no account. And if you look at a map of the Roman Empire of 70 AD, it includes Israel, Egypt, parts of Africa, Italy, France, Spain, Britain. You know, the word of the gospel was preached to the whole world at that time, and then the end came. The end of the old age of the written law on stones and the religion that came with it. And God started writing his spiritual law on men's hearts and on their minds. So that gave me confirmation there too. Today's kind of a video of confirmations for me. In a video I did some time ago about the lake of fire, I was talking to you guys about what I experienced when I was in a coma. I experienced this darkness there that was so thick, and I fought this dark presence. I always called him the dark man. And, you know, God showed me that is, that darkness is the darkness that all mankind is in, unless they have the light of Christ inside them. And the dark man that I fought was the devil inside me. Well, I looked up the word darkness in Greek, and that word is skotos, S-K-O-T-O-S, and it's Strong's 4655, and it's defined as darkness, either physical or moral. Remember, Jesus said, if the light that is in thee is darkness, right? And ignorance respecting divine things and immorality. The root word is skia, and that's Strong's 4639, and it means a shadow, the dark man, thick darkness, an outline, the shadow of a looming presence, a spiritual reality, whether good or bad, relating to God's light or spiritual darkness, the shadow of death. You know, whenever I was in that coma, I was fighting this dark presence, this dark man. And every time I would knock him down, he would get up. Knock him down, he would get up. And it wasn't until June 14, 2012, 2 years later, after I come out of this coma, that God finally came in and subdued that beast that was in me. He tranquilized that beast that was in me. He defeated the beast that was in me. All these things God is confirming to me. It is so amazing, you know, that things I've already known to be true, you know, He's showing me things that I'm not leading you astray. I'm showing you the right way. You know, the end came in 70 AD, and then almost 300 years later, a Roman emperor comes and takes the writings of our original brothers and sisters, and he creates a religion out of it. And it just kept growing and growing, and then we had the Church of England with King James. There's so many people out there that have been lulled asleep by religion, and they can't help it. You know, religious spirits can't help it. It's all we've ever known. You know, you're born into religion. There's people that attack me all the time, word by word for the Bible, you know. And these same people, if they were born in Iraq or Iran or Saudi Arabia or Afghanistan, anywhere like that, they would be defending the Quran. And they would be enforcing Sharia law. These are the law keepers, you know. It's where you're born into. You're born into religion, you know. Religion is death, and only life comes through the Spirit. You know, what I want everybody to know and what I try to teach is that you have to empty your cup, get rid of your religion. Ask yourself, how do you know God today? Do you know Him because of something you read, what your preacher told you behind the pulpit, or do you know God personally? Do you know Jesus Christ personally? Do you know Christ personally? The anointing. Have you been anointed? Has that light been turned on inside you? You know? Salvation comes by revelation. And when that happens to you, whenever you seek God in spirit, you know, you let go of all these other things, God will reveal Himself to you. He will give you a measure of revelation, a measure of true faith, and you'll understand. And you'll come to true knowledge. And if the world will wake up to that, we'll stop all this bickering and fighting, and we'll come to unity in the Spirit, and we'll have peace. Anyway, I love you guys. God bless you all.